tension.
Loosen up a little bit.
I just got cold, I made a pot of coffee before I left, so it'd be hot when I get home, when I have coffee, I warm up, soak my feet and drink my coffee.
I was in Sedona last week and the temperature was about the same as it is here, just without that humidity, it's so much warmer.
Mm-hmm.
Glad
But
I
then
told
the
her I
weather's
slept on the
changed
same bed,
dramatically
my
last night, still.
Just gonna go down the tiny side.
It's all down to 30s.
It's like, no, my phone shows a snowcast. We could have some snow.
It's snowing in Boswell right now.
Like I said, I was just in 92-degree weather yesterday, so this is still the culture shock. It's good, so. I mean, I hate the humidity, don't get me wrong. It makes it so humid in my end. Cruise went to Grand Cayman, Jamaica, Cozumel.
I've never been on a cruise.
I mean, I was a little, I tested this morning and, COVID because there's a phase. It's taken on. Everybody was testing positive, getting off the show. This is just fantastic. I already have it. I think my antibodies are pretty high right now, because I got it right into July.
Been planning on getting
Cause I
that
can,
next shot.
I said, can't get it until November, since I had to get it for 2 months after tested positive, so now that I'm kind of got the flu shot now, I gotta get that now. I got sick after COVID, I mean, relatively healthy person, but I had 2 days where that helmet on the chest was true thing, so it was just like, your lungs are just,
I didn't have the breathing problems that I had. I just had severe body aches that hurt all over.
you wake up and freezing to death, and the next day it's sweat,
Yeah.
my head,
I had one group of 102.2.
my nerves, years.
As long as I kept popping ibuprofen, it would stay down. But man, as soon as it wore off, it was
I just, 6 solid days. And it just kind of, I had 3 shots, I didn't have 4 at that time.
Yeah, that's what we always do. I know, we're looking at the academy. What are we gonna put a work on?
I was thinking it was only 10 that could be in there. 379.
40 inches here, we said that.
Thank you.
If you don't get that, let me know and I'll write it down.
Yeah, I know what Carolyn Farr used to do, what Carolyn Farr used to do.
Yes, that's correct.
I was in emergency last week.
And then the revenue makes and here's foreign language that you can't understand.
It was, actually, I, about halfway in here, I was like.
Sinusitis is what everybody's getting diagnosed with.
You did?
now. It's bad, it's
He was out on the road, you couldn't.
It was bad.
I had to go out for like 2 or 3
I
months.
mean,
It took me forever to get rid of
everything
it.
just.
Lost all that smell taste. I started using it. Commercial phone type last year. Bosch.
That's the last, I mean, and that
Puts
was.
warm water in your nose.
Oh, okay.
Things for breakfast. I use it every day. Even when I'm not stuffed up.
Okay,
It sucks out.
that's a good idea, yeah.
Like a neti pop.
It's like a neti pop. You don't know about it. It's just got like pressure and sometimes it's a neti pop. You're all stuffed up. The head rush, headache, when it finally does get loose. Once it works great. It took me, I tried it 2 or 3 times to the $100.
Well, they kept it.
Yeah, my smell comes back, like, tastes
Good,
like.
good.
It's pretty great.
And then I give me sitting on those pillows, because they knew it was not happening. I think I might have taken about 3 or 4 pieces. And it went away. And most of that's gonna be new. Cause he was like to call the meeting to order. Lindsay, you have a roll call
Mayor Crane,
here?
Councilmember Schultz.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Sayre.
Here.
Smith. Here. Tanner.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Minutes stand approved. Nancy, you have anything? Margot? Okay. Amy? You and Michelle?
Yes.
Are you together?
We are.
Okay.
Oh, so we just came to ask permission, they'd like to again start up the Christmas parade. And it would be the 2nd of December, lineup would be at 5:30, parade would be at 6:30. Using the same route as in the past, lining up at the park.
Fifth Street to Liberty,
Yes.
Liberty to Fourth,
Yes, and then in the.
Fourth back to the park.
Yes,
What's the date again?
the 2nd.
December 2nd.
Thank you.
Is that on a Friday?
Yes,
And you wanna block the Fourth Street off at the square
yeah, we can,
at 5 o'clock,
yes,
or whenever practical.
yes.
Does anybody have a problem with that?
You take care of the advertisement for that, do you? I mean,
Yes, yep,
okay.
we've already got flyers and everything that we'll do for that, and then Ed Kent, just wanna make sure it would be okay for him, he's agreed to do the announcing and music from
At
the
the
gazebo,
gazebo?
so. Just wanna make sure that's okay as well.
I don't have a problem with it.
Everybody okay then?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, you're good.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Chip,
Sure. Carol,
did Covington's assessments go up $4 million?
how many?
4 million.
More than that.
Was that before the, golf course was annexed to the,
We haven't annexed it in yet, and it went up more than that. Yeah. Brian? Polly? Laura?
Yeah, one thing, we're gonna meet
Okay.
after, for a private meeting, but before, I would like it to be recorded in the minutes of this meeting that I called and, as opposed to what it was mentioned last week, that, Rodney and Laura Provia house was condemned. I called the Department of Health in Attica and my house is not condemned. It has never been condemned. There's 2 attempts of neighbors and the city of Covington calling to find out if the house was condemned, but it wasn't.
The-
So I would like that to be recorded so that
Right.
all the people that read the notes realize that what it was said last week, it was on their incorrect assumptions.
Yeah,
And, I already have a lot of bad reputation, so anything that I can do to is that, because reputation is what people think about a person, but not really what it is. Thank you.
thank you. Nicole?
Well, I already spoke to you previously,
You
but,
did.
I need the hill fixed because I need access to property. I brought pictures.
I don't need any pictures.
Well, do you guys need pictures?
No.
because.
Tyler, you have some road pack you can put on it,
Where you live?
I
down
spoke
at the
to you-
hill.
I spoke to you down by the electrical
From
building.
the
I don't live
electrical
there.
department.
I don't live there, I just need access to my property
She
because
doesn't live there.
I can't even get to the alleyway anymore, cause you guys don't even trim the trees.
Here's the deal, I mean, we could, I'll
Yeah.
put hot patch in there,
Yeah,
but,
You have, no, you have road pack?
not any that's fine enough to go in there, it'd have to be cold patch or hot patch, if it's, it'll wash out, we've tried that once before. I mean, let's.
We've already been over this before,
Which
I mean-
hill is it? Where are we talking about?
it's,
down from the electric
Yes,
department.
okay. Where the
Yeah.
wash, that,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad, my car bottoms out and I can't even get to it sometimes.
And you still get some hot patch?
Yeah.
I just get a J hot patch, they tender, put in there.
Now, as far as, you know, you're not living there, so
Correct.
as far as snow removal, I mean, I can't get a truck down there.
No, you
No, and
can't.
I
We're not
paid-
doing
I'm not gonna get.
I
one
want it to
truck
be
down
noted
there.
that I paid for snow removal last year
Okay,
because of all the drama that happened.
sure, no, I understand, I
But-
mean, I'm willing to help you, you know.
Right, I
We'll-
just
we'll
need
fix you,
access
but-
to my property.
Okay.
Because even the alleyway, after I stopped taking care of the alley,
Mhm,
nobody takes care of it.
mhm,
So the trees are overgrown, I'm not gonna scratch out my car.
Sure,
Which alley?
Canal Street,
be that easement that goes next to.
the one that you
Richardson's building.
claim is,
Next to the,
I think it's one that goes by that new building.
it's
off
a
the
grass
top.
alley.
yeah,
It's neat, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I know I spoke to you a couple months ago
Yeah, I
because
know.
we took equipment and we cleaned out all of your guys' drains.
Mhm. Alright.
Okay. You
So
got
I
it.
do take care of it,
You can have a picture back.
but. So am I gonna get it fixed? At least get access to it?
Bart? Tyler?
Oh, nothing.
Greg?
Nope.
You don't have anything, Greg? Okay. Josh?
I don't have anything tonight.
Justin?
I don't have anything to write
Joe? No. Patty?
Have we ever set official trick or treat hours?
6 to 8 on the 31st.
People call in our
We,
office for that?
we always do it on Halloween. The ghost walk is the 31st from 6 to 7:30. And that's the downtown businesses.
And trick or treats that night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, same, it's always Halloween.
Yeah.
6 to 8,
The ghost walks from 6 to 7:30.
yes. Is that all you needed, Pat?
It is.
Did I call on you? You didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Bob? I shocked you.
Have we got, my state coming in to do that one block of Railroad and, Fifth Street?
They did Fifth Street today,
Okay.
and, equipment setting up there at Railroad, in the, off the street, in the
Okay.
parking lot.
Ready to do that block?
I'm
there?
sure they're gonna do it tomorrow,
Oh, all right.
yeah,
Okay.
yep.
What about our other asphalting? We heard anything from NDOT
No.
on our grant or
No.
anything? Nothing?
Nope. Nope.
Okay, the other thing is these grates around these trees on the square. I looked at one today, one's still raised up. I think it'd be a good idea to take all the grates out around those trees and put in some dirt around them. Plus the two stumps that are over there in front of the ice cream shop and that other building here. Either saw that one off a little bit more and then get some of that stump rot.
Yeah, I went up there, and we'll tear that sidewalk up if we try and get stump grinder in there.
Oh, yeah, you can go.
We'll just take a saw and just cut it flat, put
Just
drill holes in.
drill
put
it, and
stump
put,
rocks in.
drill it and put the stump rot down in it. And that'll,
Don't you think it'd be a good idea to go ahead and take the rest of these grates out and
if
fill them
we
in?
do, we're gonna have dirt all over the sidewalk when it rains, and
Well, then can we put in just some worse rock?
I guess we could do that.
Yeah. But I mean, eventually they're all gonna raise up but if we take them out,
all these are, Bob. I mean, there's at least 5 or 6 that are all raised up,
yeah.
every one.
Yeah, we need those taken out and put in with some washed rock to bring it up even with the sidewalk.
The problem was the landscape architect for the state should have never put these kind of trees in. You don't put trees that grow to a 7 or 8 inch tree in the downtown.
Well, that's what's raising up these grades as they
Yeah.
grow.
And the sidewalks.
Yeah.
And the sidewalks, and
Well,
then,
the trees, the type of trees that they put in there, the roots are supposed to go down, they're not supposed to go out.
But they're
from the
not.
side. You know,
you can look out here and see the sidewalk where it's raised.
raise the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's what we ought to try first, is take all the grades out and then level it up with the sidewalk with some
Save the
washed rock.
grates though, cause the grates
yeah.
are about $1,000.
Yeah, we need to save them,
So,
you know,
Take them up out, take them up on the hill probably.
yeah, keep them. But cutting them in a bigger
Yeah.
circle is not gonna, I mean, we're gonna have some time and labor into that.
they're that thick
I
and
know
they're
it.
cast iron.
Yeah, yeah, you know, we're not,
That wouldn't look very good.
but those stumps over there, that's what I would do with those, is drill some holes in, put some of that stump rod in. Do the best you can about getting them gone, you know, they've been cut down for a couple of years now, and they haven't done anything.
I think we could get that washed rock at Smarts or something like that, just basically just landscape washed rock.
Yeah, that's all it
I'll
is,
call Smarts in the morning and see what they have.
get a jag of it for all of
I
them.
don't think Interstate or Walker has any of that stuff, just,
Just don't think Interstate handles wars for all.
no.
The sidewalks I've been mentioning, do we have, San Diego and Sutherland looking at those for next year?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I gotta have a list to get them.
Well, if we look at 2 blocks south of Park Avenue on Third Street, Fourth and Fifth,
Mhm.
which all feed into the park, I think those are the areas that need to be worked on first.
Okay,
At least start getting something
Yeah.
done on those before the 4th of July next year.
So are we gonna do away with the plan that we've had for years? We're gonna do the sidewalks in the whole town or what?
you mean the plan as far as
The plan is we tear them out and they'd put them back in.
we would need to just vote on that we're gonna do it, if we're gonna,
Well, I
do it
think-
ourselves.
I think if we're gonna do that, then that's what we need to do. We need to, the city needs to do it ourselves, 'cause that's not fair to the people that went along with the project.
Right.
Well, then what do we do if we got somebody in those 3 areas there that said, no, I don't have the money, or well, no, I'm not paying for it? What do we do, just leave theirs out?
Yeah.
What?
And that's gonna happen.
That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think because we have such a huge, 4th of July celebration, and there's heavy foot traffic on those 3 streets, that we should just do them. I mean,
Well, once we do those, I think is, the next door neighbor down, he may say, my God, look at that, I'd like to have mine done. And then we could go back to us tearing it out, them taking care of the contractor
Yeah.
coming in, forming it up and pouring it.
it's like, I don't have that kind of foot traffic walking in front of my house,
No.
so,
Right.
it's,
No, but you do down there on the 4th of July,
Mhm.
the week of the 4th of July,
If we're gonna do that, then, I'm okay with doing that, if everybody's for that, but.
Well, do we, until we get a quote from San Diego or Sutherland, why, at that time, but I mean, we need to go ahead and get a quote from
Yeah.
them so that we can go ahead and say, well, I'll make a motion to accept this bid and get all 3 streets
Yeah.
done.
And there's a couple other contractors
Yeah.
that are doing, sidewalks in
Yeah.
town.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll go ahead and get them.
Yeah, go ahead and get them, and that way we can bring it up at a meeting and, get something started on it.
Okay,
Other than that, that's all I got.
okay. That's it. Meeting's adjourned.
Oh, yeah, I tore it off. We've got
You know, and I thought about like after, I said, no, I'm so maybe I'm not here with this in front of me, but I think I should have done that. But we should be about why these 4 years, so it passed the last,
Just some of these in towns where they're not 100% sure that, like, say we said we were going to do this, you know, that you can't put that properly.
Yeah, I come down and shop.
Cycles are full of these down there.
Mine-
Oh my God. Oh, it's like everything was full. When they put that garbage, like, eight minutes in, when it's back, sidewalk.
you know. I'm like,
They're supposed to do it, yeah, yeah.
after Bob starts talking, I'm like, oh, I should put this election stuff up.
Area blocked off. They were complaining about.
We gotta do it next month.
Yeah, we'll do it the first meeting. Need to make it.
I might fix the hardly tomorrow.
Where you got one at?
I did, we got it winterized, I knew you did because I could, I could look back. I pressurized it. Yeah.
Hillside, on the hillside.
Should be everything done down there for the winter, right?
Yep.
Get that fixed, we'll see where we're at.
That surely ain't tight on that, up on the hillside, it's one running down there.
Well, it's a service line goes down to them.
Okay.
Are we gonna do one works real quick?
Hmm?
Are we gonna do one works real quick?
Okay.
That's the one we signed.
Yep, it is, that's clean.
They still got one.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be fine. But, yeah, it's gonna be cold tomorrow.
Looks like you're already dressed for winter.
Yeah, I've been down at the park and I go deal with sewer and then I came here, so.
I thought I could smell something.
Oh, How you guys doing?
Tyler, you guys got a number 2 stone, bigger number 2 stone?
Yeah, they
That would
winterized
like a neat man for washing down the hill.
bathhouse,
For washing it off.
Oh, down there?
the door.
I mean,
Well, we put some,
Yeah.
melting there at one
Yeah.
time, they
So,
had stayed for a while.
I was
but it's just-
winterizing
It loosens
the
up.
splash pad and
I didn't know it.
the bathhouse,
Based
the
on the
pool.
road.
Yeah,
So
it's
we know
got
it's
blacktop
road.
on already,
Yeah.
half blacktop.
But
The
this
door was at the
washed
bottom,
out.
there was a deuce drop.
Yeah, it worked out in the left side going down the hill.
Oh,
Yeah.
seems like the
Actually,
only
it's
area.
like saying, they just sit there, let it work down the hill,
Well, that's
that's
what I
like
was
the blacktop is,
Yeah.
and then it's just pain to work with. Oh, if you don't quit.
See, but
Okay. I
Careful.
Yeah.
you guys can sign that. I'll make the motion to approve it.
Well, I'm glad it was a virtual meeting, that way I don't have to delay you much going home tonight.
No, that's just our weekly bills.
Oh, well, that's Board of Works.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
We ordered that last time at the last meeting. Patty?
What was it?
Snow
Snow
plow.
plow.
Yeah.
Lawn equipment.
What do we have, what has for patch for us?
He patched along the pool building last year.
Oh, the
He just didn't bill us.
Yeah.
It was only a few months late on that.
That's all the one we got?
Yep, that's
I'll
it.
sign
We
it.
were in the other one, didn't we? First,
Thank you.
This, what,
yeah,
the payroll one?
yeah, the one we do once a month.
That's once a month, yeah, that's the first of the month, you'll have one next month.
Okay. thank
Yep.
you.
Somebody second.
I made the motion.
I seconded.
Okay,
Aye.
3-0.
Did you what? Or did you bet?
I said me.
Okay, Laura. You got the floor.
All right, thank you so much. I really appreciate this time. I know it's late and you guys need to be home with your families. It's been really hard for me, you know, coming to the board to please you for your help. You know who I am, my husband, we have this issue with leaving our properties here in Covington and moving away to work in Florida and wanted to keep these houses for retirement purposes. This is my retirement purposes. I'm hoping to live out of these homes when, you know, when time had come, and not because we were ready to come back, but because we got a letter from the city of Covington in 2019 saying that our property, it was rented, we had 2 tenants, had, you know, been in disarray and in disorder with the ordinance in the city of Covington. And in that letter, it talks about grass, toys scattered, trash, an old car park, and pretty much, you know, about those were the terms. We hired somebody, we're still in Florida, we have jobs over there, and in addition to that, I have a mom that has Alzheimer's, and I didn't want to put her in a nursing home, so I was putting all my attention on her, so I couldn't come and clean the house for them, but we talked to the tenants and we hired somebody and they cleaned it up. It came 2020 at the beginning in March, and we got a second letter. All I can say is that the tenants didn't respect what we asked them to do. They did call the exterminator, and they did have, you know, because in the letter they were also talking about bugs, you know, crawling out of the house. I didn't see them, I don't know. I believe completely because of the disaster they left behind. We already having problems with these 2 tenants, and we were starting to advance our plans, our personal plans to come back to Covington to start addressing the homes before, you know, before we were 65. We came, my husband got here October 19, 2019, after 6 months after the first letter. And the intention was to find a new job, because we still need money to, you know, for living, and to start addressing and maybe claiming our houses from these tenants. He's in that process for 3 or 4 months, and March 2020, before we got the second letter stipulating the same things. The houses, but now there's 2 houses, you know, not only the houses where the neighbors immediately live, but a second house that we have. The neighbors in the second house never complained, and we have gone and apologized personally to them because we know them from a long time. And new neighbors that have moved recently to those properties, and they never had any, you know, inclination to address the city of Covington that we were doing something, you know, in disorder according to the ordinance of the city of Covington. Therefore, you know, we're here, you know, we're here to address that problem. We don't wanna be the bad people. We are good citizens, we are good citizens. You cannot find anything in our records that we're criminals, that we have steal or rob or drugs or anything. We are good people, we're church-going people, but we have 2 houses in here and we live in Florida. It happens to maybe more than just us. It is probably not the first, you know, residents of the city of Covington that have that issue, but we are addressing it. When we got the second letter, my husband already, it's been several weeks with, you know, that he got COVID himself, because he got COVID in March 2020. It was bad, it almost took him. He got really sick. And you know what, now the laws of, you know, provide and they, I miss words, I lose words, but now the law is to protect the renters, I'm sure that the city of Covington couldn't collect on water and electricity because we are in COVID. You still not being to pay your payments and your credit cards, and they said, if you have COVID, please talk to us. Well, we have COVID. And not only one time, he got it again in November, and then again the following year. He has had COVID 3 times. I haven't got COVID yet. God charm me, you know, thank God. But, you know, I'm careful, and we are careful people, you know, but in here, this situation got out of our hands. The reason why we kept these houses is mostly for retirement, and then to leave something for our kids behind when we die. You know, we work hard. I have worked since the moment I arrived, you know, married, and I got my permission to work in the US. I have worked. Never miss a day. Always saving whatever we can so that we can advance and help others. I don't wanna be the people next door that, you know, use all their money and comes time to retirement and you have to go to a nursing home, and guess what? The state of Indiana has to pay because you don't have anything to pay with. We were making plans so that wouldn't happen to us. So we got bad tenants, you know, I'm sure that people have, you know, made mistakes before. I am so sorry, I tried to apologize to the neighbors last week, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good because it's been 24 months for one of those tenants that are gone already. And there is no trash anymore, and there is no tall grass anymore, and there is no ugly cars parked outside, and there is no yelling, and there is no, so now the house is in disarray because they left a mess. I don't wish this on anyone, not the worst of my enemies. They left the house really bad, the 2 of them did. In parentheses, one of those, the one that was the criminal and child molester, if we knew, you think we had put them in there? No, all the opposite. A priest of their church, I don't know for sure, but the chief police, Getty or Ketty, I don't know his name, but my husband does, he contacted my husband and in his name, and the priest's name, asked us to please allow the husband with the family. We had rented it to the woman and to the 2 kids. And he asked us to please, you know, allow the husband in there. At that point, we're starting to learn that, you know, this is no good people, and we said, no. And he pleaded for the husband to be reunited with his family so that they can, you know, try to mend their lives. We believe in second chances. I want a second chance from you to help us, you know. move on with this situation. I told my husband, I was in Mexico trying to find good care for my mom, because now he's here, I need to get rid of my mom. It doesn't sound so good, but I need to come and help fix these houses. I need to go to Mexico, and I went to Mexico to put mom back in her house as opposed to a nursing home and find good help. You don't find good help like that. It takes time. It took me 16 months to find 2 people that can live with her and take care of her. And I go back and forth to give them, the chance to disconnect from the work and go, to their families. So I have left my husband alone a lot, and I am so sorry. So he's sick, he's left alone, he has all these issues with the houses, he has, because you've seen it, you have harassment from one of the neighbors, calling us slum lords or something like that. It is not easy. So in his frustration, his intimidation, and his harassment, he said, we're fixing the houses and we're selling them. Well, yes, we're fixing the houses and we want to sell them to gain the most profit possible so that we can have retirement easier, you know what I mean? That was the reason why we had, we needed retirement easier. That's the reason why we keep those houses and we keep paying, the mortgage month after month, the taxes every May 10, every November 10, 2 houses paying constantly, never late. That was our plan. So people are mad at us, and I am so sorry, but please, now I wanna comply with the agreement, even though I told my husband, please do not agree to sell the houses. He got out of his hands and he signed my name as well as his. That's fine, he did it, bad mistake, I should have left whatever I was doing and in trouble and come here so I could be at that meeting. I didn't do it, I didn't never in my wildest dream thought that this was gonna be the agreement with that deadline. This timeline is very absurd, considering that I wanted to make this a brand new house. We're destroying the 2 dwellings out of one house, big house, and we're making a big house and making all new and tearing down walls and finding all the issues on the water that was penetrated and destroyed, the structure and the subfloor. We're ripping and trying to come ahead, but the more that we try to do, the more we have to rip. Gets time of the inspection, and of course we are very far away from being done. And it only looks in there that it is a lot of need help. Well, yes, but we are trying to do it. We are trying to do it, but the timeline was really short. It was a timeline that it was just impossible. He works all the time, and we don't have a big account in the bank to do and pay, others to come and do these things. In fact, all our savings that we had went to pay off the house because we still owe 13, 15 months of payments on that house, and now we don't have tenants. And we live like you, more likely, I suppose, maybe you guys know, or like most of the people in Covington, paycheck to paycheck, you have to make your payments. And if I have to make another $800 payment on the house and I don't have it, what do? You go to your savings and you go, and I'm not gonna go and steal nothing. I'm just gonna go and figure out how am I gonna pay this, because I don't wanna be late. It is not our style. You can go and talk to the bank and see, you can run a credit report that talks good about us. And apparently, in these days, when you're getting a promotion, and I'm not sure if everywhere, but at least in Disney, for my husband, who used to work in Florida at Disney, if he was gonna be given a promotion, they run a credit report just to figure out how good is he with his finances, because as an indication of how good are they with their lives. And we are good with our finances, we are good, but we don't wanna give it away. I mean, we don't wanna lose it, we work hard, we work really hard, we didn't wanna leave that. Too many HGTV shows that, flip and flop and fix it up, or that was my dream, come back here. I wasn't working anymore because I chose not to help my mom, but he needed to work. And he needs to work so that we can continue living until we get to full-time retirement. We are far away from that still. So please, you know, now we wanna comply with all of this because our signatures are in here. And we found this buyer, a buyer that is interested on a house that is a wreck inside, but it doesn't look so bad outside. That has a lot of potential and it has a lot of value, because even though our neighbors thought that it's a condemned house, and it was nothing but a lot empty, that they wanted to buy it for $15,000 and pay $17,500 to demolish it. Other people see potential in this house. I personally see a lot of potential, and if I go to Zillow, my house, which is what Zillow is not the truth, but my house, according to the neighbors' houses, is worth $190,000. Then people in front of us, $278,000. The Accor guy, Marty Accor, his house is in there for $500,000. The Bush people, $250,000. I mean, this house, once I fix it, I can sell it for $200,000. Right now, it's not worth that, but it will be. But I cannot do it in 3 months, and I cannot do it in 3 months when my husband is really struggling with still issues from the COVID, and now he has another issue with his knee, and we just need more time. So we didn't have the time, we needed to sell it because now we're losing, and we find the buyer gets the loan, the bank approves them, and then, oh, we cannot go further because the city of Covington has a lien in your house. So I'm losing the house to the buyer, to the city of Covington, which at the end wants to buy it for little value and then only 75%. I think I'm pleading to you. I'm pleading to your understanding, to give me a second chance. If you want to talk to the people that are gonna buy the houses and you're gonna put on them, you know, burdens on that they have to do what the city of Covington wants to do, then just give us more time and we'll do it. We'll do it because all I want is to make the most beautiful home ever. I wanna make the city of Covington proud of me and my husband again, because I don't know if they've ever been proud of myself, but if the city has been proud of ourselves, because there's no reason to be proud of somebody, but when we live here, our house was beautiful. And if the city will have come and say, yeah, I wish all houses were pretty like this, well taken care of. They will be well taken care of. They will not be tenants anymore. They just need a lot of time because we have progressively made a lot of investment, but the house had to be taken down to the subfloor, even to some of the structure. There was a lot of water damage. A washing machine that was just left run and over with the water just getting worse underneath, and the windows where they put their window air conditioning, and dirty, like exactly like you said in your letters, you know, that it was really bad. I am so sorry. I'm extremely sorry.
We tore a lot of that out and replaced it.
I'm extremely sorry that it got out of my hands and that I made those neighbors feel.
Well, the only thing I got, guys, is this. If you want us out of Covington, just come out and say, do we want to leave Covington? No. I really like Covington. And it's like I tried to tell Brad the other day, I've been everywhere. And there's no place like, well, they say that, no place like home. Because you can't go to Kissimmee and live there like I did for 16 years at Disney and go to the bank and they don't know you. You can't go to Casey's, you can't go somewhere and they know you. Here it happens, they know you, and it's nice. That's the feeling we wanna have for retirement. But what I wanna say is this is, Brad, you wrote this, that's fine. I mean, it was agreement.
I didn't.
You and Tyler did. You guys came up with
The mediator that the court
but
appointed.
it was written.
Yeah.
Filed, which is good.
Yeah.
But if you want us to sell it, then we're gonna sell it. But the bottom line is, you're
We cannot
gonna
sell
give
it.
this to somebody else to work on. When you guys know us, we will fix it. There hasn't been any more issues with the house, with the neighbors. We went and talked to Mark and his wife. They said they didn't have a problem with us. We didn't bother Butch because his daughter's got issues and we didn't wanna bother him with it. But if the neighbors are okay, and even Marty said the house looks better than it did before. But what I'm saying is, if you're gonna pawn this on to somebody else, and let us have it, we know the issues, we'll get them fixed. If it's gonna take us a while, but we will get them fixed.
Well, even if you had to sell it, those issues would have to be taken care of prior to even selling it.
What issues?
Well,
It has to
look,
pass a home inspection,
Well, the inspection.
has to be passed in order for someone to get a loan for it. How long has this been going on with you folks in your property?
2 years.
Just the 2 years, or was it prior to?
No, it's been 2 years. The first letter we got was in 2019, so maybe a little longer. I'm not sure what month, except that I heard from the lawyers, he gathered it from somebody else, that you guys have been taking this way too far since 2011. 2011 is when the first tenant called the health department because we were taking him to
So
small
my
claims.
question is, has the property been neglected by you guys, the owners, for that long? I mean,
No,
No,
because
we-
we're all citizens too. I'm
Right,
new to this
right.
council.
Okay.
Nobody's asking you to run you out of Covington, so I don't know where that's come from. But if we weren't taking care of our properties here in town either, this council would be sending us those letters as well.
Right, and I agree with that, but the thing is we've shown
George.
good improvement.
Let me address this. 2010, this house was divided to be, it's a big house, so we divided into two to rent so that we could get, people to be able to pay the rent. They couldn't pay in a big house, it would be, more than the average.
So you turned it
people
into a
that-
duplex.
So we,
yes, yeah.
and you know what, in order to do that, it was 2 new kitchens, 2 new bedrooms, new floors throughout the house.
Brand new.
New drywall, whatever new walls were, it was beautiful, all new trimming, everything. And to prove you that it was like that, we went to the bank to refinance because we needed to pay for all those $20-some thousand we spent. What bank gives you money without coming and doing a house inspection? There's the proof. I just finished paying it. I told you, we had a loan for 10 years. It wasn't longer than that. So do you think that 10 years ago when we did that, the house was bad? We wanted to put a new siding and a new roof, and we did in the following years after 2010. It's like every vacation that we have, my husband spends it trying to improve the house, to make it better, and it's not vacation and it's not real life, but that's the life that we chose so that we can rightfully earn the right to have these houses, spend all your vacation working on them. The real fact is that there's a little bad blood between the neighbors and us because 2011, they wanted to buy our house and we said no, because we already have plans for it. And just to tell you why the first 2011, attempt to us having a condemned house, that tenant who was the first tenant to the brand new apartment wasn't paying rent. And for the first time, after we consider a lot, do we go to small claims to force him to pay? And we did, and the judge ruled in our favor, and he had to pay us. And you know what, when he knew he was going to be called to this judgment or whatever audience, he called the Department of Health. And the report says, there's a little issue with siding and soffit. Not a little issue, I don't know, I didn't read the report, but that's what the person told me on the phone. There's an issue with siding and soffit, and that's what we were doing I don't know, the following year or the year after. But we didn't do it because of the report, because we have never saw that report. That report was given to the person that called for the inspection. In some way, Mr. Butch Scott got a copy of it, maybe there were.
I think it was Greg Robinson with the health department wrote the report.
Yep.
And it's on the internet. I think that's where he got it. They never carried through with it.
No.
One
And he told me, and I told him, or he said, if your house was condemned, our lawyers would have done
everything.
whatever they need to do in order for nobody to live there.
Yeah,
So
But it
since,
was
two-
never,
but they just didn't do it.
since
It was
two
never
thousand
officially
eleven,
They wouldn't do it when there were dead animals in there. When McKetty went up there and
Kenny, when you're saying dead animals,
there was a dead cat laying in
That was-
one of the apartments.
yeah, and that's what the man said.
you
There
know,
was a-
Kenny didn't see that dead cat. I was with him. I let him in the apartment.
But
And
let's
And
say,
we searched, cause our whole goal was, if she did this to those cats, I was gonna take her to court, cause that's cruelty. But we couldn't find anything. Me and Kenny both walked in there. I opened the door for him, I walked him in. And then, now we jump to the other situation that we had with another tenant. I wasn't gonna let him in the house. Because Kenny got a hold of me. And, now wait a minute, and Kenny told me that he and his preacher, I guess this girl was going to church with him. And he turned around and asked me if I would give this guy a second chance. Now, is it me to know his background? No. Kenny knew. And Kenny asked me if I would rent it to him to give him a second chance. So I like Kenny, I liked him a lot. So I said, yeah. Then I find out he's a pervert. Well, guess who I got reamed? I got reamed on that from his officers going down the street. Pittman stopped me and asked me, what the hell are you renting to a pervert for? I go, you go talk to your boss. He's the one that got him in there. And Kenny told me he would take care of all the problems. That's where that one came from.
Okay, we're off track here. Rodney, you see, you've got a copy of the agreement there.
Yeah.
You see on 7, you agree to, list the 3rd Street house for sale no later than May 1st.
Right.
And,
I wanted to ask you about that too,
that's for next year.
Brad. That's for next year. But when I asked you about the 3rd Street house
yeah,
before, you said you wasn't worried about 3rd Street because you knew we didn't have no complaints against it. The only complaint we got against it was him.
no, I've had complaints
Who?
against 3rd Street. One of your neighbors has asked me.
The ones I've talked to, I haven't had any problems with.
But it is, you agree to complete the work on it by January 1st.
That's for 509 Fancy.
That's 509.
Pardon?
That's for the house on 509 Fancy.
No, no,
That's how I read it.
no, that's at 1114 3rd Street. You agree to complete the work by January 1st, 2023. So that's less than 75 days.
He saw too many HGTV shows thinking that he had a whole crew and he was gonna be able to make miracles and do one. He made a mistake, he made a big mistake. And we have to pay for it, and we're pleading you to please give us a second chance. And if you don't want to, then just take the liens out of, so we can sell them. If you take the liens so that the people can buy the houses, then,
But
we'll
they've
sell
got,
them.
I'm not gonna, I don't think anybody is gonna want somebody, it's not against you, it's against the house, Rodney. And I don't think we're gonna release it so you can sell it to somebody else that's not gonna fix it.
They're gonna
No.
fix it, that's how come they wanna buy it,
Yeah.
because they
The
wanna
two-
fix it and
The
make
two
money.
people we got wants to buy it, wants to fix the houses up.
Well, I was told, I don't know who it is still, but I was told by a person that they are legitimate people, that they would fix it up. That they can get the money,
Yeah.
and they can fix it up. And somebody said they made you a good offer.
Yeah, that's one of the people.
If whoever he sells it to is gonna have to have the inspection report
Yeah.
given to them.
Yeah.
Or else we're gonna be right back to square one.
Well, just to save you guys time, I've made copies and gave it to both of those people.
But,
I wouldn't do that.
But the other thing about this,
anybody can buy a house that is in this, in no such a good conditions and try to make it better, so that's what they probably wanna, whoever agrees to buy our house, that's what they wanna do with that, and they probably need to have the time to do it. Nobody's gonna buy a house to have it live there, sitting there and not make progress on it and not take advantage of all the potential. Everybody here, the contractors are buying houses and making them into beautiful homes and selling them for lots of money. So that's what they wanna do, everybody, that's what I wanna do, those are my houses, those are the things that I pay and pay and pay monthly. I would, sacrifice so that I can have them, because I saw all of that potential to do when we get to this age. And that's what people, want to do, because that's the trend now, everybody wants to buy a house and fix it up and sell it for more, and
Well, I don't see in this mediator report that we've gotten has been filed with us to the court over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what I'm getting at, we're at the point now with this mediator agreement that we really don't have any say in it anyway, it's in the court, right, Brad?
That's correct.
I mean, it goes back to the judge that ordered the mediation, now she's got a report of the mediator's report filed with her, with the court. So we really can't make any kind of decision on it.
No, we can't make a decision tonight anyway.
Well, we can't on that, no.
So I think, I'll talk to the judge and find out where it's at.
Yeah,
With that.
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding what you guys trying to say, cause I really don't understand.
The judge, this mediator report here is in the hands of the judge. Okay,
Of
now,
Covington?
Fountain County, the mediation was ordered by the court, not, we said we wanted to go to mediation.
Rodney requested a mediator, because we didn't know about this meeting, we didn't know we could come to the meeting and tell them what do you want us to do. And we would go to the office and leave letters at the office of Tyler,
Taylor,
it doesn't matter, don't judge me for that.
yeah, no, but he's our attorney.
Yeah, he said, he tried to sit down in there and wait for him to see how can we proceed, and he didn't have any luck, so. Then somebody that works at the courthouse, not the judge, suggests to Rod, you need to call into a mediator. If I know the mediator was gonna write this, and I had to pay them to write that. We have not been well informed, as well as you have not, whoever, not been well informed about all the conditions. There has been a lot of communication lacking, mostly because we're gone and because we are not here for you guys to address us. I wish that going forward, I don't know how many letters like this you send to the people in town, but I would like to help out, so when you have a letter like the ones I got, that you guys agree to have a team of volunteers to go say, Judge, I got, your house is in trouble, you don't cut the grass, I want to help you, how can we do it before you get a letter from the city, you're not fulfilling. If we talk, if we just made it easy for everybody, it would be a nicer town. I have been back now for, since early this year. I see amazing things happening in Covington. I see an amazing square and amazing buildings and redone and fixed up and nice sidewalks and trees and little picnic tables and gazebos and McDonald's, and I'm impressed. That's what I wanna be part of the solution, I don't wanna be the problem.
I think the thing to do is for, like you said, Brad, see where the judge is at on
Yeah.
this.
You'll
And
have to go through Taylor to do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And in all honesty, I'm gonna tell you that, and this, I know, I work in the court system, and this isn't ever the answer anybody wants to hear, but this is the answer that we have to tell people. It would be in your best interest if you got some legal counsel of your own. You say you didn't get anywhere with Taylor, and it's because he represents the interest of the city.
And we understand.
No, I wasn't gonna talk to him, I just wanted to talk to him.
Yeah,
and say, okay, what do I gotta do?
And just because they've been in the system so long, legally, there probably is things that you could do to remedy this situation. But we can't do it, we're not attorneys, and because it is in the court system now. And so it has to go through the court system, and unless you know the legality, you know the law well enough to go into that courtroom and represent yourself,
No, we don't.
then it would just be wise to maybe, at least get some legal advice on what you should do. And there are avenues that you can call, come into the clerk's office, and we've got numbers for free legal counsel to call and talk to somebody about it, maybe to see what direction you need to go in. Somebody
Well, I
to,
appreciate it if you talk to Tyler and talk to him. If the board's agreeing to maybe cut us some slack and let us show you what we can do to these houses,
Or let us sell them, but do not, take
And
the
as
lien
far as
away so
selling
we can
them,
sell
Where do
them.
you guys live right now?
In
Third
Third
Street,
Okay.
in the back.
as far as selling them, you said the bank, they need to go to a different bank. Whoever is trying to get a loan, just because one bank says no because of it, because if they buy it, then that should just
But there's a lien, Patty, there's a
Yeah,
lien
that's
in our
what's gonna
house.
stop anything.
Right.
No bank wants a lien on the house.
and that's what I'm saying, is it would be taken care of through the sale.
Yeah.
So then we just find a catch buyer, is that what you're saying?
Like if I was gonna come and buy your house and I know there's a lien on it, that just means that I'm gonna end up paying for that lien.
But in this case, the lien is not that we own money, the lien is that we have agreed to sell in certain conditions and certain
So it has
times.
So it's not a monetary lien,
No,
it's
there's,
just this.
yeah, there's no money, we don't know anything. That's how come it's so,
Is that in the recorder's office? Where is that?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think, well, it must be, cause I think Douglas Nelson's the one that told me.
Yeah, because it's not, unless it's through this, but I would have to look that up.
I just said it all Taylor,
when we were earlier in October, first week of October, last week of September, maybe it's October, they're ready to sign the papers, and they find that there's this lien, this is the lien, this is the lien, this is the lien that is against us in our house. And then the banker said, we find out that we need to get rid of it, so we asked your lawyer, Taylor Powell. I'm sorry that I cannot say correctly, I will never say correctly. It just comes
That's
out wrong.
okay.
It just comes out wrong, even if I have to
That's
stop and
okay.
think how to say it, I can't.
I mess it up all.
But if
But he said-
but he asked you
but
who the
he-
buyer was.
Well, he said, this is what he said, oh, I'm glad you have a buyer, who is it? And I said, it was me. I don't wanna tell you, do I have to tell you? And he just smiled and
He
says,
calls
no,
us.
I don't have, he said, no, I don't have to, but I don't have to know. And then immediately he says, I already talked to the board, and I'm sure there might be other boards, maybe not yours. And he said, because apparently, I don't know how, or why would he talk to the board already? He says, I already talked to the board, and in order for you to sell the house, we need to release the lien. I will do that before the end of the week, and that was a Wednesday. And it
That's
came
what
the
he told
week,
us.
and it came the weekend, and I never heard anything.
He said he was
Monday-
gonna release it.
He said that.
He said he was gonna release it.
What he said was, he had talked to the board, and what they seen on there, there's no way we could sell it because of the lien on it. So the lien would have to be lifted off first, and he said he'd talk to you guys about lifting that lien so we could sell it.
Okay.
That's where we were at on that, and I
But
said,
he
okay.
just, but
So
he
we
gave
never
us,
heard back from him.
he gave us impression that he can just talk to you, and you guys were gonna say yes.
I'm gonna call Taylor tomorrow and talk to him.
Yeah, ask him, cause he
And-
called us at home,
And then he called us
he's real nice.
on Tuesday,
Okay.
and he says, you have to give me the name. And now I'm wondering, and then he said, because we will have to make sure that whoever buys the house continues to do whatever. And who wants to buy a house that the city of Covington or the city of New York tells them, yeah, I'm buying this fixer-upper and I have the city telling me that I have to fix it by this date? I mean,
I really don't think we're getting any place here. I think Brad needs to talk to Taylor, and he knows, that he needs to go talk to the
Yeah.
judge
That would be
and
great.
see what we gotta do.
thank you.
We're not getting any
Yeah, you're
place.
right, you're
And
right,
I
you're
would
right.
be like Patty, if you people would get your lawyer, talk to a lawyer, and get their advice and find out that that's the only way we're gonna get any place on this thing.
We haven't got a lawyer because we don't have any knowledge, we're far away, and is there any way you can?
What board was this guy talking about?
No, he meant Taylor meant us.
Yeah, he meant
Oh.
you guys.
Well, nobody said that.
No, he hasn't.
Is there?
And it could
And
be
I would let
talking,
him- I'd
he
let
could be
him
talking
talk
about
His board.
the bank board that, you know, I know like
Possibly.
with Center Bank, there's a board that approves
Yeah.
loans and.
Well, one thing Tyler did say on the phone, when I was sitting there talking to him, when we said, well, if we give you the name, then, you know, we don't want what happened to us. I mean, I don't know if Brad told you the whole thing, and if Tyler did, but the harassment that we got, I brought it to the mediation, Brad knows it, and I've got all the documentation to it. And I had an inkling in my system one time that I was gonna go to the prosecuting attorney with it. But
You mean
I'm a-
cause of
I'm a
Butch and
God-fearing man.
Marty?
Huh?
Cause of Butch and Marty?
Yeah, I mean, it was, you saw that reaction of that mediator when he read it. And the first words out of his mouth when he read it was, oh my God.
Oh, I did.
I got that from 2017. I've got texts from him, and it's sad, cause I know Butch. Butch used to drink, whether he does now or not, I don't care. But I could tell on my texts when I'd be at Disney, oh God, he's drinking again. Cause he would cuss me out, all kinds of shit. And,
But
I
that's,
saved it.
I'll give you 40 minutes, so that's.
Thank you.
but I'm not that kind of guy. I don't. But I appreciate you
I'll
guys.
talk to Taylor and we'll go on.
Alright, I appreciate it. guys.
Can we
Well-
can we hear something so that we know?
We'll definitely let you know.
Alright, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Well,